Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Proxy. Diamond Dab of the Day with Bub. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. As always, since I know you're going to enjoy today's video, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, send a like, and I reply to all the comments. Let's get started with today's topic. How many of us out there have emotional pain? Maybe right now we're suffering through emotional pain. Happens to everyone. Well, guess what? You're going to find yourself sometime in life suffering emotionally and looking for anything to ease the emotional pain. What can you do? You could drink. You could do drugs. You could binge eat. You go spend money on things. Shopping, food, and alcohol are not a problem on their own in moderation. But when any of them become a primary coping strategy, it can lead to a more stressful situation than relief. We need to discuss some good options for coping with emotional pain. But first, what is it? Emotional pain is at the root of the majority of reasons people seek therapy, believe it or not. That's right. Emotions can lead to very distressing thoughts. They can also make a person feel extremely uncomfortable physically. Chest pain, fatigue, tension, stomach aches. And they lead to emotion-driven behavior such as avoidance, withdrawal, or aggression, which perpetuates the emotional pain. Changing our experience with overwhelming emotions starts by changing our behavior, how we think, how we act, and letting go of some of the old coping mechanisms that might no longer work. Why is it so hard to cope with emotional pain? First of all, emotions are useful. They help us adapt. We can't control, stop, or get rid of them. However, nature intended us to have a warning signal that would blow up when we avoid them, push them down, numb, or use coping strategies that push them aside temporarily. Negative emotions are a signal that something's wrong or threatening and push us to cope. Anxiety, anger, sadness, shame. But some of the coping behaviors contribute to more emotional pain. You actually find ourselves engaging in behaviors that are going to hurt us. So we're doing our best to cope, but the emotional issues are still there. Postponed, numbed, if you will. Unfortunately, they come back, especially when they're not properly addressed. So what are the proper ways? Several proper ways to cope with emotional pain. Find a new hobby. Pick up a new hobby. Something that you've always wanted to try. Or something that you already love, but haven't had the time for. Love to read a book, pick up a book, borrow a new book, or buy one. If you enjoy looking at scrapbooks, start one. Do a vision board. Post images of everything you've seen. Start photography. Move your body. While suffering from emotional pain, you may not even want to get out of bed. But unfortunately, that can contribute like a snowball effect to even more sense of depression. Instead, go for a short walk. Stand up and stretch. Do a beginner yoga session. Any type of physical movement can help release the pain from your body. I know it feels counterintuitive. Trust me, though. You're not going to have the energy to move. So how can moving help? You know what? Moving, when you're feeling down, can actually give us energy to lift our spirits. It can help us mobilize our nervous system, giving us more energy. And we have to remember not to ruminate. We've talked about this. Don't torture yourself by fixating on whatever you think caused the pain you're suffering from. What has happened has already been done and cannot be undone yet. Going over and over and over in your mind is only going to make things worse and waste time. If you need to, ask yourself, what can you do now? What control do you have over the situation? And watch out for shaming and blaming yourself as well. If nothing can be done and your best choice is to accept what is, by golly, you got to accept what is for yourself. to feel what you feel. It can also be helpful to process your feelings with a friend, a therapist, or even write them down. Remember, don't shut off your mind, but maybe stop telling the story. You may think that you're no longer worrying about what caused the pain, but as soon as there's an open ear willing to listen, you're going to find yourself retelling the story again. And at first, it's helpful. But at some time, you have to stop telling the story because you're just opening the wound again. Rather, focus on where you are now, where you've come, what you've overcome. And guess what? While it's counterintuitive, you can experience relief while allowing your most primary and painful emotions to express themselves. That's right. It's called emotion regulation strategy. You got to name it to tame it. Maybe keep a journal. Did something good happen today? Put it in your journal, along with how that nice thing can help you overcome a bad thing. You don't have to do this, but if you want to cry, it's good to do it. That's right. How many of us fight back tears in different situations? Fight them back. Don't. Let them come. Let them run out of all over your clothing. Crying has such great health benefits. It releases toxins. It's relieving stress, just like laughing. Crying is a catharsis. Bottled up emotions are inside of you, and they can only poison your mind and body. So get them out. We suppress and block our emotions. Our body uses physical strategies, such as constricting muscles, altering breathing, and other ways. And that can cause physical symptoms, bad digestion, chronic pain. You know what? If you find it difficult to cry, try watching a movie that has similar themes to the pain you're in. You'll be able to cry. And open yourself to others. That's right. Let them in. Does it hurt you to see the loved one suffer? Of course. It hurts the loved one to hear and see you suffer. So don't lock yourself up in a room and avoid others. Let them in. It benefits both them and you because humans are social creatures. We need interactions. Isolating ourselves really ends up just exacerbating our emotional pain. And make lists. Lists are good and important, of what you really are grateful for. What are you thankful for in this world? Write it all down. And practice gratitude. That's right. Practice it on a regular basis. An individual or family ritual could even be keeping a gratitude jar, where at the end of the day, each person writes one thing they were grateful for on a slip of paper and throws it into the jar. At the end of a month, you got a lot of things in there, and you go over them. Remember I said name it to tame it? Well, when you're struggling with emotional pain, take a moment. Name what you're feeling. If you can see it, the name, you can attack it. Research shows that naming our feelings can relax the intensity of whatever you're experiencing. So name it to tame it. Identify that feeling any way you can. If you need to see a professional, please do so. A therapist is a wonderful thing. It's incredibly important that we all learn to cope with emotional pain because it's going to happen to us at some time or another. There's another saying that's very, very important. Fix the roof when the sun is shining. I'll say it again. Fix the roof when the sun is shining. Well, we all know the logic. We can think about it pretty easily, the logic behind that sentence. Fix the roof while the sun is shining. Boy, that makes a lot of sense. How few people do it, though. So this is the Real Senior Stoner with my Puffco Proxy and diamonds today with my bubbler, telling you that we all have emotional pain. We're all going to experience it. Get ahead of it. Find your support system before you need it. Think about what I'm saying. Find your support system before you need it. Don't scurry around looking for, oh my God, I need to talk to a therapist. Have that therapist's name ready. Know the phone number of the friend you want to talk to. Have your plan ready so that when the emotional pain hits, you're able to cope with it better. This is the Real Senior Stoner with the Puffco Proxy and Bub. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining. the Real Senior Stoner. Cheers, everyone. Very, very, very tasty. Cheers, everyone. Thanks again for joining the Real Senior Stoner. Have a great day.